Hello and welcome, my friends. Crystal Atkinson here, your Vibrantly You wellness coach, trainer, and friend. I am wondering, have you ever been in a situation where your emotions have gotten so big, they almost felt out of control? Whether you got really angry, really frustrated, you left the encounter in tears, or got into your vehicle and were cursing the whole way home. Have you ever had that big emotion happen and just wonder, geez, where did that come from? Why am I feeling this? Why am I responding so big? It feels out of control. Well, there's probably a pretty good reason. And as soon as you figure out what that reason is, it's going to become a whole lot easier to navigate those situations in the future when you're feeling really big emotions. So, what are those? Well, let me just show you what they are. Okay, so our big emotions generally stem from our values. This is why it's so crucial to really understand what our values are and how they influence us, how we interact with other people, how we make decisions, why we might be really quick to do some things and really slow to do other things. So you will be able to find this PDF in the Vibrantly You wellness community. So if you are a lady, you can head on over there, download it, print it, and then you can have this forever. So you can see the different values here. What we're going to do is a really quick activity, and I mean 4 to 5 minutes tops. I'm going to start by giving you time to read all of these values. Don't overthink them. You hear me say this a lot. Really trust yourself to know who you are and what you believe. So when you're reading these, what I want you to think is this me? Do I believe this? Is this important to me? The trick is to do this without judgment, without criticizing yourself, without putting these in a hierarchy. That is not the point of these. There is no right or wrong value to associate yourself with. So some of you, for example, are going to look at this and say, fairness, that's a high value. And others are going to be like, I really think respect is more of mine. Okay. So there's no right or wrong. You're going to read through them. And any one that stands out to you, just circle it. Okay. If you're like, I like it, it's a value, but it's not like my ride or die, not important. Just cross it off so that it's out of your mind. Okay. So read them really quickly, circle the ones that you connect with, cross off the ones that aren't as important to you. Ready, set, go. Okay, 1 minute left. I know some of you really are overthinking all of these. Just read them, gut reaction, yes or no. Okay, time is up. Now what you're going to do is look at all of the ones you have circled, and you're going to narrow these down to your top 10. So you're going to have to whittle some down. You might see some overlap, but you're going to pick the ones that you think, yep, these are who I am. These are a part of my core. They're absolutely crucial in my decision making, my reactions, how I navigate life. Okay. Really quickly, you're only going to have 1 minute. Okay, the beauty of this being a recording is if you really need to pause it, you can. Um, but we're going to whittle this down some more. So you picked out a whole bunch, then you picked out your top 10. Now let's cut it in half because at the end of the day, you could probably speak to each of these to some extent. Which of these values really feel like they are the core of who you are? These are the ones that you wish upon your children or other people who you love. They're the ones that really just mean the most to you. Okay, so take those lots. You took them down to 10. Now take them down to 5. You may be getting to the point where you're thinking about these, and there might be one that's missing. The more you think about these, the more you're like, you know what, Crystal? This other thing over here, this is actually my core. Go ahead and write it down. This list is compiled from several different lists from courses that I've taken, and it's not an exclusive list, right? There will be other ones on there. Okay, again, just pause me if you need to, but our next task now is to move beyond words. Can you see here? I have your top 2 values. So you're going to take your 5 and you're going to pick your top 2. These are just going to stand out to you. You've whittled down enough that you know who you are and which ones mean the most to you. Write them right beside value 1 or value 2 or on a separate piece of paper if you're following along digitally. Your next step is to complete these sentence starters. So we're going to look at just value 1. And again, just pause after I read these until you're finished writing, and then press play again to rejoin me. So value 1, whatever it is, when I am in alignment with this value, I am doing. So I want you to think about your actions. What are your behaviors? What are your words? What could I witness if I were watching you? When I am in alignment with this value, I am doing. And then you're going to journal it out, only a few lines. You're not writing a novel here. And then when I am not in alignment with this value, I may be doing or feeling, and you're going to do that for both value 1 and value 2. Press pause, come back when you're finished. All 4 of those sentence starters. So 2 for value 1, 2 for value 2, and then come back. Okay. You know what you're doing. You know what you're saying when you are in alignment and when you're not in alignment. I can feel that I am not in alignment by what is happening. Do you feel a physical response? Do you feel like, oh, my heart is up, I'm sweaty, I get shaky, I start pacing? Is it my thoughts are scattered? Is it that I start to feel that strong emotion? Or maybe I start to feel so bored. Okay. How are you feeling? And then when that happens, I can reorient myself by. So, how are you going to bring yourself back on track? Once you recognize that I've fallen off, how am I going to bring it back? When I feel a strong emotion from my value being challenged, someone I can talk to is, I can also share this by saying blank to whatever person has made me feel that strong emotion. Okay, so pause again, journal that last section out, and then come back. Okay, the power in knowing what your values are is knowing where those emotions come from. So when you're in a situation and all of a sudden you get really, really, really upset, you're brought to tears or you're angry, you want to curse, and you're just like, oh, I just can't take this. You will be able to say, you know what, just pause. Just pause. I'm feeling really big emotions right now. And I'm feeling really big emotions because fairness is a core value of mine. And when that's crossed, I tend to get really angry. And in this situation, I feel like we aren't being fair because, and then you can fill that in the blank. So see how you can take that and you can empower yourself to be able to talk through what you're feeling, what you're doing with whomever you are feeling these big emotions with, so that you can then navigate a path. You can create a sense of understanding between you and that other person. And it's not that they're right or wrong. They have different values than you, and they're not wrong. You have different values than them, and they're not wrong. When we create a bridge between where two people are in mutual respect and understanding, then we're able to navigate whatever path we're on together in a way where everybody can leave the conversation feeling good and understanding where we might have sidestepped. I'd love to know your emotions. My love language is definitely words. I love to hear what this means to you. So share how this went for you. Share what your um, big values are, if you feel brave enough to share those. And then most importantly, like, comment, share this with others so that they too can have this insights. Thank you so much for being on, and we will see you again real soon.